name is Hanna Salian and I'm the Program Director at GIZ for the topics of energy, transport and climate change. I think what inspired me goes back into my childhood days. I grew up in a village, so I spent a lot of time in the nature. And I grew up being quite conscious about environmental protection and environmental degradation. So when I chose my study program, I actually studied sustainability and environmental governance. And with energy, it is linked to also the study program where I had the opportunity to go to India for some research of my master thesis. And I went into a remote village where a village was supplied with electricity from a solar mini-grid system. So it was about energy access, receiving electricity for lights and so on for household energy. So this is what brought me into that career. The energy and climate sector in GIZ in Kenya, we have around 16 projects and all of them actually target women as beneficiaries. This is also linked to the foreign development policy, foreign feminist development policy of the German government, where it's about strengthening women in their rights, in their access to resources and also in their representation. So the projects we have also aim at that. Just to give a few examples, we have one project to improve household the access to climate-friendly cook stoves. That's improved cook stoves. So the household air pollution is actually improved. You need less firewood, and also it has a lot of entrepreneurship in there. So we also support women in becoming entrepreneurs and being part of the distribution chain for improved cook stoves. It is similar for the biogas project, where we also target women entrepreneurs. And for renewable energy and green hydrogen and also electric mobility, we have been setting up networks where women also have a platform to exchange knowledge, to also create professional networks and find professional opportunities. And this is how we also target to increase the representation of women in the professional field in energy. I think I haven't really faced any particular challenges for being a woman. I did notice that over the last years I worked in different countries, mostly in energy, and the energy ministries were the partners of the projects. And it is a very male-dominated sector, and I often found myself in meetings with only men. But I didn't have the feeling that it was very much of a challenge or an issue. I was usually treated very respectfully, and I had the feeling that it was not a major challenge. But going into a leadership position, I think I struggled a bit with what a lot of women struggle with. It's the self-confidence of being competent enough, being qualified enough for a leadership position. And I see that the new generation of girls is also more confident, so I hope that this will also be changing over the next years. First of all, I would like to encourage girls to also go into STEM subjects. There's often a perception that these are boys' topics, and I would just like to encourage girls to not be held back by those barriers that are created by societies of which topic is for which gender. And for young women also to look for scholarships, for fellowships, to also pursue careers in the topic of energy, transport and climate change. And as a second advice, I would encourage women to also find mentorships. I think mentors can be very helpful in pursuing your career.